Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's nice to see you on the building. The train pulled out a little late tonight, but it still pulled out. Sorry for the delays, okay? But we did announce the delays on the platform, so I'm glad to see y'all all in the building. As you come in the building, though, y'all know the routine. Hit the like button, okay? That's your ticket on the train if you're going to be a passenger out there on the platform. And please be kind to each other on the platform, okay? Be kind to each other. So listen, we're trending topics Thursday, and it's happy Thursday, everybody. Nice to see y'all out there. You know, the name of this trending topic tonight is called It's All in the Details. Yeah, it's all in the details. We got this Britney Griner. Listen, she told how easy it is for you to make a mistake. Let me tell you this. And here in the United States, we're very fortunate. We can do the most. And when I say the most, we can do the most. Y'all be all up in the cop's face, talking back. You go in the courtroom, you saw the guy the other day, we did this video a few weeks ago. He didn't like what the judge said, so he leaped his behind over and jumped on the judge. We do the most. Go shoplifting, you shoplifting, your whole life, your career, your job is shoplifting. And every time you come in the courtroom, they cut you a break and you still don't get it. There's other countries where you mess up one time and they about to put you down. You done. Over here, you get chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. So you better know the rules and the laws if you want to go somewhere else, or you going to mess around and find out. I don't like that they made this Mary Jane legal, but that's me. They can't rule the world off of what I like and think. So there's some places where Mary Jane, figure it out, y'all. Y'all know what the Mary Jane is. It's legal. So Britney Griner has some cartridges. And she was going to play ball overseas. She gets to Russia. They're checking her bag or whatever. She pulling her stuff out the bag, and boom, she had it in her bag. The THC or TC, whatever. She had it in her THC, right? She had it in her bag. They sentenced her to 9 years in prison. I would have fell out in the courtroom. I wouldn't have made it. I would have fell out, passed out. I wouldn't have made it. But again, I'm not one. I don't smoke the Mary Jane. I'm not into it. It ain't me. It's not for me. She said it was a simple mistake. We're going to talk about Britney Griner and how she's fortunate she got a second chance. Let me tell y'all this right now. If I were her, you wouldn't catch me dribbling the ball nowhere overseas ever again the rest of my life. I work on my off time. I work in Target first. Next guest. What you looking for? Dish detergent, aisle 7. You want me to walk you over there? There's no way. I don't care how much money I need. I wouldn't do it. Mess around and they lock me up. No. Now, y'all know, our second story, you know this Marilyn Mosby. Y'all know I don't do the politics on this channel. And I don't do it not because I don't pay attention. I'm not into politics. It's because politics is about politics. And even when you get somebody that you want in politics, they still not going to be able to do what you want because of politics. If you understood what I'm saying, you understood what I'm saying. So they let you do what they want, when they want, and you will get how much they want you to get done. Everybody like, oh, go vote. You got to vote. You got to vote. Yeah. It's bigger than voting. So this Marilyn Mosby, she is facing up to 40 years behind bars because she borrowed some of her own money. They got her caught up for political reasons. She's the ex-Baltimore DA. When I read her story, I said, good gosh almighty. When they want to get you, they will back you up in a corner and get you. Now, when everything was good, the husband was by her side. Now the husband gone, she got the 2 kids, and she's praying to God that justice will be served and she won't have to do any time behind bars. And she's hoping that Biden steps in and pardons her. God bless her. I don't know how this is going to turn out. And she got 2 teenage kids. I don't know how this is going to go down, but we're going to talk about it. Then, because we got to do this, we're going to talk about Britney Spears. Over there in the hotel with the boyfriend losing it. And everybody's like, free Britney, free Britney, free Britney, free Britney, free Britney. Everybody's like, her father's a thief, stealing her money. But if you look into the story, when the father took over her, she didn't really have that much money. Under his watch, she amassed $60 million. And now they said she is tossing it out the window, and before you know it, she's going to be broke. They said she is spending $1 million for vacation, and she goes on several in 1 year. Do the math. Do the math. $1 million on vacation, and you going on several. Her boyfriend is an ex-convict. They allegedly up in the hotel putting hands on each other. She losing it. She posts this message on Instagram that is all over the place. Somebody step in. Somebody fix it. It's all in the details. Somebody fix it. And you know, the other day, and you know, everybody, listen, you write what you want. As long as you ain't getting fresh with nobody, I don't care what you write. But the other day, somebody wrote my comments, Diva, it's her money, let her spend it. Hello. Something ain't right. She needs help. She needs medication. She needs somebody to step in. What, you want her to be homeless and broke before somebody steps in? Yeah. Well, you know what, Raheem, though? You want to know what's sad? Conservatorship and guardianship is already a legal business. Let's talk Wendy Williams. Everything they did to her is legal. Make that make sense. Is legal, and she got a guardian who is noted on record to be a whole thief, and she still gets to be Wendy Williams' guardian. Now, we don't like Kelvin Hunter, whatever his name is, but he's right. Why is this guardian getting away with not showing Wendy Williams' financial records? Well, she's not going to show them, because then she would have to show that she emptied out the account and stole all the money. Britney Spears' husband father might have stole some of the money, but at least he left her with $60 million. Wendy Williams, out of her own mouth, on a documentary, said, they stealing my money. I'm broke. I don't have no money. Listen, there's a lot of things. Listen, stuff happen to people all the time, right? But there's a lot of things. I tell you what, touch my money. Touch my money. Now I'm calm. Yeah, I can remain calm. I'm calm. I'm chill. I lay back. And you want to mess with my bank account, we're going to have problems. I promise you we will. That's why, you know what? Soon I don't know, I'm thinking about, because I don't know if I really want to. Dating with Diva. But listen, if I trust and believe, I walk down the aisle, you going to sign this prenup. Yeah. We going to sign a prenup. I'm taking care of nobody in my old age. Taking care of no grown man. No, we're not doing that. Sign right there. Because you try to take my money, it's going to be problems. I'm going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And no, I will not be paying you no alimony if it don't work out. No, I will not. You're not getting none of my money. Come on, take that part. Sign right here. I'm going to do the Candy Burris. Have the spotlight on you. Have it videotaped. So there be no discrepancies. Yeah, come on right here. I'm going to do some background checks. I don't need assignment. Come on now, rebels. Don't mess with Diva Doll. Come on now. We ain't doing that. No, we're not. That's with my money. So you know what? All in the details. We're going to talk about it. So let me bring the people on in the building so we could get this conversation going. And I hope y'all hitting the like button. What do I need in that chat, y'all? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and our title tonight is It's All in the Details. We got Britney Griner. She's still haven't forgiven herself for what happened. She's traumatized. We got this Marilyn Mosby that she's praying that she don't go to jail for 40 years. Good gosh, 40 years a slave. She won't get to see her kids graduate from high school, get married, have kids, all of that. Then we got Britney Spears. See, that's why, you know what? The government got to stop falling under the pressure of the people. The people lost their mind. Free Britney, free Britney, free Britney, free Britney. They free Britney, and now look. And I heard the divorce is finalized between her and her ex-husband, Sam. And I'm 10 toes down, Sam, you never loved Britney. You was always in it for a payday. And you was cheering on and championing on the free Britney. And then when she got free, Sam, you left her. You're a mess, Sam. And you did Britney dirty. Her father knew, though. Her father didn't want her with you. And look at what you did. You want to come around talking about, oh, I can't take it anymore. No, that's what you signed up for, bro. Do you know the vows say for better or for worse? That's what the vows say. For better or for worse. And the worst came and you left. Messy. You wanted a payday. And then when he moved out, she had to pay for that expensive apartment he was in. I would have told that judge he could go live in a studio apartment wherever. I got $500 a month for him. That's all I'm giving him. Use me. He knew I wasn't right when we got together. He signed a prenup, Shirley. He tried to fight it, but they won't tell us the details as to what Britney had to pay him. He got himself a little check. And I hope he burned through it. Let me bring the people on in the building. I'm going to shut up. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva, in the words of Kanye West, we want prenup.
Come on, Kanye.
We want prenup, me and you, Diva.
I know that's right. In my opinion, what's up, girlfriend?
Don't worry. You ain't got to do no background check. You know me. I'm going to be on it.
You'll be on it. Be on it. Hey, E. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey.
Katrina.
Hello, y'all. Choo choo.
Dr. Love. Come on now. Julius, Tay.
Kanye just took his own advice.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. So, you
Hey,
know
Diva, I want to say something right quick, if you can. I want to say if you know, I'm always here for you, so I can do the background check if I have to. I'm going to protect my best friend, so thank you for that.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Justin. Come on, protect the diva, y'all. Protect the diva when I tell you who this man is that's going to be in my life. You know, but let's get right into it. Let's get into this, ex-Baltimore DA. When I looked at her story, but, I don't know much about her, I was like, oh, this is layered. This is layered. But, see, what we got to understand is, too, we can't do like they do. I don't care how much you think you in. We can't do like they do. And when you better wake up and figure that one out, because you hanging with them and the next minute, you all tied up. See, did he messed around and found out? He thought because he had all his money, he transcended over, he could do whatever he wanted to do. And he messed around and found out when Homeland Security raided those 2 homes. But let's get into this DA. Hold on, let me share this screen. Is this the, let me make sure this is what I want to show. I think so. Let me just, hold on 1 second, guys. Oh, here it is. Here we go.
As one of the few Black state attorneys, Marilyn Mosby took a number of political risks during her 8-year tenure. She moved to decriminalize sex work and marijuana. She established programs to provide nonviolent drug offenders with alternatives to incarceration, and even started one of the country's only youth and prevention departments. But it wasn't until after her push to prosecute the officers who killed Freddie Gray that she found herself on the other side of the courtroom, convicted of fraud for withdrawing funds from her own Baltimore deferred compensation retirement account, something 739 other city employees, including 3 people who worked in the same agency as Attorney Mosby, did during the pandemic. Yet she was the only one prosecuted and now faces up to 40 years in prison. Marilyn Mosby joins me now. I guess the first most obvious question is, how are you doing? This must have hit you like a Mack truck.
I mean, first and foremost, I'm blessed. And so thank you for having me on. Yeah, it's still an incredibly sobering moment, right? I've done absolutely nothing wrong, nothing illegal, nothing criminal.
This was your money. Was there any public money involved in this transaction?
No, absolutely not. This was not, despite how I've been vilified. When the gag order was in place and I was unable to defend myself. It's just not PPP loans. This is not a COVID relief funding. This was the money that I was putting away every 2 weeks in a retirement savings account. And I was advised I could withdraw from this fund. There was, the person that testified, the government witness, got on the stand and said all I needed to do was suffer a $50 adversity.
Right.
And I had more than a $50 adversity as a result of COVID. So I didn't even take the stand once that came out, right? And it's like, obviously, I'm not going to be convicted. I know that this was politically targeted, and it was sobering.
Talk about this, because you do say that you've been targeted, and why do you think that happened? Because the thing that changed between you indicting those officers in the Freddie Gray case and this is the president changed, the Justice Department changed, and Leo Wise got a lot more power. Talk about that a little bit.
So, I mean, I think that you've kind of touched upon all of it, right? Like when you look at the policies that were being implemented, not only did President Trump say, I need to prosecute myself, but 2 months after, Larry Krasner from Philadelphia, and I called him out in the Washington Post, they started this investigation.
And who is Larry Krasner?
Larry Krasner is a Philadelphia district attorney.
Right. And so there is a sense, I think a lot of people would be shocked that, the Murdoch, the guy who allegedly killed his son, is facing 40 years. They're trying to sentence you to 40 years. The sentencing is on the 23rd of May.
It is.
What do you want to see happen? I know there's a petition asking President Biden to pardon you. Is that what you want?
I mean, I think that that's appropriate. I mean, I think I don't believe that I know that I've done absolutely nothing wrong, nothing criminal. And to be separated from my children for 40 years as a result of withdrawing $90,000 of my own money, it just makes absolutely no sense. It's illogical. And so, I want the people that I fought for. I fought so hard, first generation college student. They're trying to take revoke my law license, you know, as in an emergency petition, an unprecedented move. You know, I want this justice system that I fought so hard to equalize and to balance the scales of justice, where the business model is based off the backs of Black and brown people, for the people that I fought for to understand and recognize that I need them to fight for me, not because it's Marilyn Mosby, but because something like this goes beyond Marilyn Mosby. If they can do this to Marilyn Mosby, who had the audacity to challenge the status quo, they can do this to anybody. They can do this more specifically to those prosecutors that have the courage and the gall to challenge the status quo in the way that I did.
And the reason I think it stands out is that you did have, you know, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, dismiss two prosecutors he claimed were George Soros progressives. There is this sort of, you know, Bill Barr railed against you by name and others, saying that what you all were doing, disrupting the system in favor of the incarcerated, was destroying the system, and you all needed to pay for it. Do you feel that that you are part of that?
I mean, he made it very clear in February of 2020 when he addressed the sheriffs of America that these rogue social justice prosecutors, we will do anything by any means necessary, whether jurisdictionally or any individual politician that comes in the rule of and goes between the rule of law. And so that's exactly what they have done, right? They've targeted me. And as I stated before, this is a 4-year-long investigation where they've combed every aspect of my life. We're unannounced, going to people's homes, my neighbors, at 5 o'clock, the FBI knocking on their door, intimidating folks. They issued subpoenas to all of the Black churches in 5 months before my reelection, not only to get me out of office, but they've done this to demonize me and to vilify me and to break me psychologically, break me professionally, break me spiritually, break me financially. I've lost everything. I've lost everything.
And meanwhile, one of the officers that was involved in Freddie Gray's death is now going to oversee the Baltimore Police Integrity Unit. I mean, that does seem to be a message. You have 2 young children. They are preteens, so, 13, 15. How are they holding up under?
I mean, this is.
And you're a single mom.
I'm now a single mom. I filed for divorce of a 25-year relationship as a result of the chasms that were drawn between this. But they're not 3 and 5 years old no more. I can't shield them from the negativity. You know, children have come up to them and asked them and said, that's why your mom's going to jail, right? They've been traumatized through all of this. But the most sobering thing, and I got to just say, I'm so grateful about all of it, is that God has still covered them. Right? They're still prospering despite the trauma that's been imposed upon them. More recently, my daughter had a cotillion and unannounced, right? She said she wanted to go to law school and become a prosecutor. She didn't even tell me. I was like, wow, right? So I feel like I'm doing something good. At the end of the day, I'm a positive example where before, I didn't want them to come into the courtroom for the first trial, but the second one, I really wanted them to see what it looks like to face adversity and to have faith and to have strength in the face of adversity.
Would you advise prosecutors to go as hard as you did? I mean, vacating nearly 800, criminal cases. Would you advise people to take those progressive steps? And what would you say about the risks to doing that?
I mean, justice is always worth the price paid for its pursuit. I would not do anything differently. And I know that God does not forsake the righteous. And so, I know he will have the final say. And I'm confident. I'm confident that this administration will see past the political sort of attacks and why I've been convicted.
Marilyn Mosby, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Ooh, it's a lot.
Eva, is there another side to this?
Wait, let me finish, please.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So Foster, ex-Baltimore DA, and she told the other side, it's a political thing. Foster, ex-Baltimore DA Marilyn Mosby wants Biden to give her a presidential pardon ahead of May 23 sentencing, which could see her jailed for 40 years. Mosby says she believes a presidential pardon would be appropriate. The prosecutor claimed she has done absolutely nothing wrong, nothing illegal. She is set to be sentenced on May 23rd for perjury and mortgage fraud. Former Baltimore DA Marilyn Mosby is seeking a presidential pardon. Hold on, guys, because this stuff gets me in trouble when it plays in the background sometimes. She faces decades behind bars for perjury and mortgage fraud. The ex-prosecutor, 44, insisted to Joy Reid that she has done absolutely nothing wrong, nothing illegal, nothing criminal, and argued that Biden dismissing her conviction would be appropriate. Mosby said her conviction was a political attack against her. We're reciting her decision to charge police officers involved in the controversial 2015 death of Freddie Gray as the reason she found herself on the other side of the courtroom. She is set to be sentenced on May 23rd after the jury found her guilty of illegally withdrawing funds from her city retirement and lying on a mortgage application for a Florida home she bought with the money. At her trial, the court heard how Mosby lied on her mortgage application for a $428,000 home in Longboat Key, Florida, including a false claim she received a $5,000 gift from her husband. Prosecutor says she claimed to receive the $5,000 to secure a lower interest rate, while she actually sent the funds to her husband first for him to then send back in a financial sleight of hand. In her interview with Reed, she said she was stunned that Mosby was prosecuted for withdrawing her own money, as she implied Mosby's past run-ins with Republicans may have made her a target. Mosby, a progressive whose soft on crime stance was blamed for soaring crime in the unalive rage Baltimore, was notably indicted by Democrat U.S. Attorney Eric Barron, and her trial was overseen by Biden-nominated judge Lydia. Reports, okay? Speaking about herself in third person, Mosby says she sees her past actions as state attorney as the reason she is facing prison, adding that she hopes people she fought for will now step up to support her. If they can do this to Marilyn Mosby, who had the audacity to challenge the status quo, they can do this to anybody, she said. I want the justice system that I fought for so hard to equalize and to balance the scales of justice, where the business model is based off of the backs of Black and brown people. Her call for a presidential pardon comes as an online petition to President Biden reached almost 10,000 signatures, which she did not launch herself, but has reportedly been promoted. However, despite feeling a pardon would be appropriate, she's also reportedly has not submitted an application to the Office of the Pardon Attorney, which reviews cases and makes recommendations to the president. Well, she better get it in. She got what? Now it's May 2nd, 21 days. When asked about the pardon, Mosby added, I know that I've done absolutely nothing wrong, nothing criminal, and to be separated from my children for 40 years as a result of withdrawing $90,000 of my own money, it just makes absolutely no sense. They done this to demonize me, to vilify me, and to break me. She said, I lost everything. But while Mosby argues her conviction is unjust, her critics said her failed leadership while in office exacerbated Baltimore's crime problems. The consequences of that failed leadership are going to last for generations, okay? That's what people are saying. The victims are the people of Baltimore that suffer violent crime because of a police department that is completely demoralized. In particular, Mosby was criticized for her handling of the controversial death of Freddie Gray in 2015, whose death in police custody sparked riots and looting across the city until Mosby brought charges against the 6 police officers who arrested him. After she failed to convict any of the cops amid claims that charges were unjust, and the Department of Justice declined to press charges at the federal investigation, some in law enforcement argue she caved to pressure from rioters and targeted officers at sacrificial lands. Mosby also had her own brushes with the law, including a $45,000 tax lien on one of her fraudulent Florida properties, despite reportedly earning almost $250,000 a year. Mosby lost re-election in 2022 after being indicted by a federal grand jury, with her successor, Ivan Bates, taking a tougher stance on crime. The federal criminal charges stem from allegation that Mosby claimed a pandemic-related hardship to make early withdrawals from her retirement account, then used the money for down payments on Florida properties. At her trial, prosecutor Aaron alleged she repeatedly lied on the mortgage applications, telling the courts she was the top prosecutor in the city of Baltimore and oversaw hundreds of lawyers. You know what prosecutors know a lot about? Fraud, mortgage fraud. Whew, this is loaded. Loaded. Leo, your thoughts?
Ooh. don't jump into the shark pond unless you prepare to get eaten alive.
Woo!
So I think some of her she's been naive. Her naivete is been shown because it's very, very layered, right? So she tried to buy a home using her own money, but she perjured herself when to get the benefits of getting the money, her own money as a loan, and tried to funnel it to her ex-husband for him to funnel it back to her, and then say, you know, under perjury of law, she said that she had COVID hardship. It's kind of like she followed the rules, but that's not what they getting her on. What they getting her on is the fact that she needed the funds because of hardship during COVID-19 when she was not under hardship. Because that's a different terms of being able to get your own money from your pension fund. So she kind of played it kind of cute and got caught, even though she didn't do anything per se illegal. But what she did do is try to play the court. From what I can gather, what's being read here. Because from what I can see is that she got convicted. She got acquitted, because I'm going to do a Felicia right now. However, the jury acquitted her of a second charge of making false mortgage application in connection to a vacation home she purchased in Kissimmee, Florida. So she did not get the whole thing. She only got half the thing. And when in light of what you're saying, Diva, to try to bring this all together, we can't do what they do. And that's what she got caught up in.
Because you see how they mentioned how many other people did it.
And that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
That part.
That really doesn't matter. You know, you try to fly, hang, and loose and try to do all the things that they do with their money and try to be slick and try to do this extra and try to get these coins and try to get you a vacation home in Florida and try to do this and do that. It does not work when they feel like they coming after you.
Right.
So she got convicted, and that's the thing. She saying that she didn't do something illegal, but she still did something wrong, though. She still did something wrong in the sense of you cannot try to play loose with the financial laws and then perjure yourself and then think that they're not going to hold you accountable because you're different. You went after the establishment, and they're not going to take kindly to that. So they coming after her. And I don't think she's going to get 40 years. But she might get 10 years, and I don't think Biden paid her no attention whatsoever. She get ready to see that time. Okay, that's all I got. I'm getting ready to get off the line. Y'all enlighten me on what y'all feel, because I may not have the whole story.
Well, I'm gonna come to E, but let me say this. So there's several issues with this. Even when you go to get money out your own 401k, it's a shame, but you can't just say, oh, I got 40,000 in my 401k. Let me get 15 because I'm gonna go buy a car. I'm gonna go buy this or go buy that, right? You do have to submit the proper paperwork to show whatever hardship there is, so you could pull that money out of your account. And because when you pull your money out of these accounts early, it's a whole nother tax bracket and all of that you go through for that too, right? But I don't even want to go too far down that road. But the other issue is that when anytime you're going to buy a home, you can't all of a sudden just have $200,000 appear in your account, right? They're gonna be like, where that money come from? So any good lawyer, because when you buy a house, you need a lawyer, right? All these people got to be involved. They will tell you, don't purchase nothing on no credit card. Don't do this. Don't do that. Leave your accounts, let them be what it is until after you close on your home. So they're like, don't go buying the refrigerator, microwave, and all that. If you need all that for the house, don't go do all that now. Hold tight and hold on. And if you have somebody that's gifting you money so that you can buy that house, you got to have all types of tight paperwork to say that they gift you this money, where it came from, and how it ended up in your checking account, whatever the case may be. So they're saying that you lied. Your husband didn't gift you this money, that $5,000. You gave him the $5,000 so he could give it back to you. It's a whole hot mess, right? Because if you had said money, how can you say I got a hardship and I need to take this $90,000 out, but yet you got this $5,000 over here? It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. So she wanted to add $5,000 more to that $90,000. She already had the money probably sitting in a savings account somewhere. So she gives it to her husband and say, you gift it back to me. And that way, how am I claiming hardship and I got $5,000 sitting somewhere? It's a mess. She got a little messy, but she did what the others did and she got caught. You're up.
As a former resident of Mobtown, I really hate when people say, the people of Baltimore deserve better. Well, we've been deserving better, and still do. I felt for this woman when she mentioned being potentially stripped, or if she wasn't stripped already, of her law license via this unprecedented emergency hearing they had on her, and them trying to get her out of her seat, because I know she lost the seat when she went up for re-election. And also those trigger words of being a first-generation college student. Seemingly her life's work is seemingly washing down the drain. I hear her when she says she feels she's being targeted. I would even say tested and vilified for simply standing up and speaking out for what is right and good. I can feel where she is coming from, and even more so when she mentioned the possibility of being separated from her children for 40 years. I cannot imagine, because at first listen, it kind of sounds like they did the same thing to her that they tried to do to Fannie when she went up against Trump, in my opinion. But when you go after these dirty white boys, you have to have your black hands clean. When you go after these dirty white boys, you must have your black hands clean, because pigs who roll around in the mud together do not tell on each other. Now, Leo hit the nail on the head in that package. She never addressed that loan application or the perjury. I never heard her say one thing about it. It was, I did nothing wrong. I only took money out of my own account, which other people had done, and I had every right to do. She skated over the evidence which was presented, and never did I hear her speak on the COVID hardship withdrawal requirements. She never mentioned the hardship she experienced, which could have cleared this whole thing up in court, especially if you have an attorney with all the good money you make. She mentioned she was going through a divorce. But listen, if you're making a certain amount of money, thousands of dollars per year, what hardship are you facing? Like you said, Diva, she wanted to avoid those 10% penalties on all those withdrawals. There was some evasion of taxes going on here. She lied, which is more of the reason why her and the husband are probably divorcing, because at first it sounded like they were separating. And so that's what some people do once you reach a certain financial tier, and you have so many assets. These children are teenagers. And so, I'm still torn, because I hear her trying to do the Houdini mind trick. And, we got this black first lady. I mean, not first lady. Who is this woman? Vice president. And let me put in my claim to be pardoned. But no, woman, you need to tell me the hardships that you face, which align with your withdrawal COVID application to get that money out of your retirement fund. That's what I want to know.
Come on now. So, and my thing is, she a whole lawyer. So you a whole lawyer, and you know how pardons work, but yet you didn't fill out your application. You think public opinion and people signing signatures is going to get you over, and if because I believe in God. Faith without works is nothing.
Okay, but Diva, hold on though. To apply for a pardon from the president, you have to admit guilt. And that's the part she's not willing to do. She wants public opinion to give her that grace.
But she's a fool all the way around.
But Leo's right. She said, I need all my people to stand up for me, because if it's not me, it could be you. She is playing in our face a little bit, but she's not giving us the real details. It's double talk.
It is double talk. But my thing is, but again, politics for you, right? That's why I don't do it that much, because it's like, do you think I'm dumb, stupid, or both? So you didn't do it. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. They just coming after you because you did this, but they coming after you with some legal technicalities, because like you said, E, you got to be squeaky clean. I said this before, when it comes to just regular work, you will never catch me, because I'm going to do my work. I'm going to show up on time, and I already know I can't do like they do. I told y'all the story when I worked the night shift. You ain't catch me put my head on no pillow. And all of them did it, and I knew that I could not. Never went to sleep, and I ain't no night person. I never took a nap, because the thing is, you can't be that foolish. You cannot do like they do. So she did a whole lot of hooplas and went to this and that, and she just said, I'm innocent. I did. Girl, stop. And you was making, and that's why they announced, how you making $250,000 a year and you got a hardship.
But Diva, look at Mrs. Wilson comments.
Diva, she also didn't know her husband was in deep tax debts. She admitted to signing docs without reading them. She's a fool. She's a whole fool. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Let me tell you something. I'm not dating, living with someone, and I'm going to be blind to the situation. How much do you make? What you got in savings? Who do you owe? What's going on? You're not going to roll up to my house with a Lamborghini and you only making $10,000 a year. So you are a whole lawyer. You are a whole lawyer, and you don't know your husband is deep tax debts. I kind of see. Here's the reason why I don't believe that. I had a friend one time, and she said, "I didn't know our house. My husband always paid a mortgage. I didn't know our house was going in foreclosure." The lies. The lies, I tell you. And the reason why I'm going to tell you it's the lies, because let me tell you what these people do when you owe them money. Forget about just your spouse. Your spouse is going to be the first one they're going to call. But they will call your mother, your cousin, your uncle, your brother. They will find anybody connected to you and say, hey, can I speak to so-and-so? You wonder how they got your number. Before they foreclose on your home, they sending all kind of letters. They doing this, they doing that, they doing whatever. She's trying to tell me she never looked at her mail. She didn't know her own husband was in tax debt when those two names are connected together. So when she went to pay her taxes, she didn't know that her husband owed tax. And it's the lies for me. It's the lies. But I'm getting ready to come to you, Sebastian. Q said, my mama used to tell me like this, you can't do what they do. Come on, Q, that's how I grew up too. And plus this woman is old enough and educated enough to know better. Boom. Thank you for the super chat. She's a lawyer. You didn't know your husband was in deep tax debts. Well, girl, y'all both was into scheming and playing games. Yeah, come on now. They will find your neighbors to talk about a foreclosure. So you trying to tell me your husband, you had no clue this man was in deep tax debt? Sebastian, you're up.
Good evening, everyone, and good morning. Some people are on other sides of the world. You know what? I'm very happy today because I thought I was going to be alone on this car, but it seems like everything's going to go well. Okay. For this, people are saying she's a black woman. They're all after her and everything. Well, she's using this is a political theory, actually. It's called when someone's a demagogue, where they use social issues in their own interest to make regular people to relate to them to try to hide what they're actually doing. No, she did a crime and she must do the time. And she's trying to get this pardon. Well, I'm glad Diva read it. Um, the attorney who was prosecuting her was the same party as her. The judge who was prosecuting her, who's going to give the sentence and everything, was appointed by the same man you're asking for a pardon from. So I don't know what she's going to get. I think she'll at least get like a 10-year sentence. You know, she might get out early. She could get a 10-year sentence. You know, it's probably her first time being involved with the law and everything. But, you know, this is the thing. You weren't tough on the law as a prosecutor and crime was rampant in Baltimore. Well, now the law was tough on you. And you're just going to have to get it. You're just going to have to get it. And I know some of y'all are putting in these comments comparing her with other things. Listen, we cannot be comparing crimes. You don't compare crimes. Every crime has their own grade of offense. Every crime is different in every state. We cannot compare crimes state by state by state by state. This is a federal crime what she did. This is a federal crime. I don't care it was her money. I'm sorry, but it was not technically. When you have money in that retirement fund or whatever, you have to claim financial hardship and show proofs. And also, because I remember when my parents were buying their first house, because, you know, my parents are immigrants, their English wasn't that good yet. One thing the mortgage counselor said, and the lawyer, because they both sat down, they said, do not lie on this application. Lying on a mortgage application is a crime. Lying on a credit card application is a crime as well in some states. You cannot lie on these things. They will catch you when they have to. They will catch you. You cannot falsify documents. You cannot do all these things. I'm not saying she deserves the 40 years, but if she gets it, I can't feel bad for her. I can't.
40 years is excessive.
40 years is excessive, Diva, but the thing is, she's an attorney. She knows what the sentencing guidelines is for these things. This is an attorney. This is a former state attorney.
I hear you, but I do feel it's excessive for what she's being accused of, especially when there's people that unalive people and they don't even get that much time. Kerry, thank you so much for the super sick. I really appreciate you. I do believe that 40 years is excessive.
It is.
But I do also believe that she was used to gaming the system. She was used to gaming the system and she got caught.
Right.
She got pissed off the wrong people and she got caught up. And now it's potentially going to destroy her life. But I also think that she's living under a rock a little bit by thinking, I want the people failed you already, girl, in your jury trial. Now you still depending on these same people to help you get pardoned. Girl, you got to wake up. You got 21 days. You got 21 days where they about to sentence you. I need you to come up with a different plan.
Right.
And let me just give people this. Our money is never our money.
Right.
The 401k, yeah, it's your money, but it's not your money. The money we put into Social Security, it's our money, but it's not our money. The money that's in your pension, it's your money, but it's not your money. You can't just tap into it like it's your savings account and say, oh, you know what? I got $100,000 in my 401k. I need about 50 of it. It don't go like that. Sebastian, did you finish?
I just want to say this one thing afterwards. As my sis E mentioned, you cannot. It's very problematic for you to say you're in financial hardship and you're getting paid $250,000 a year by the state for you being an attorney, and you're buying these vacation homes in other states and trying to. It's not working for me. It's not. Lock her up. Don't give her the 40 years, but lock her up. She needs to spend some time.
I don't know. Yeah. Tay, you're up.
She should know right is right and wrong is wrong. She did the wrong thing at the wrong place at the same time. That's all I gotta say about that, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, they're pissed with her about the other thing about the cops. That's it. Now that I can agree on that they're pissed on her with that. But she messed around and she found out. It's messed up. Julius, you're up.
Lock her up.
Oh.
Now, if it was us, where would we be? We'll be locked up. And she only wants to come to the people now because she's in trouble. But did you care about the people before? No. So I say lock her up. Let her know. Let her learn. Actions have consequences. Right? So, I mean, the sentence, I do believe she needs to do jail time. 40 years, not really. I'll say maybe 2.
Ooh,
and lose her.
Like she did probation, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Julius. Go ahead.
And I do believe she deserves to lose her law license.
Whoa!
Because as a legal person, she knows better. She has to hold herself to an account. And she has to conduct herself in a certain way. She abused that privilege. And I would say the same thing if this woman was a cop. You abuse your badge, you deserve to lose it.
Whew. We rough tonight. Thank you, Julius. I appreciate you. Marilyn Mosby might make $250,000 before taxes, kids in private school, student loans, mortgage, utilities, food, household goods, take out because of long hours. No, they are targeting her. They may be targeting her, but $250,000 is a nice salary, and there's people that are making $50,000 and $20,000, and they got their kids in schools, they got student loan, mortgage, utilities, food, households good, and they still not scheming the system. But thank you for your comment. I appreciate you. Dr. Love, you're up.
Yes, I want to say to me, this is sad, and I will give this lady grace for a number of reasons. Mm-hmm. And I hope that I heard this whole case correct, or what we know to be correct. For one, from my understanding, if you want to buy a house, you can say that you want to buy a house and get the money from your 401k. So I don't understand why she had to say hardship on that. I just don't get that part, because you can't go to your 401k to say, I need the down payment for a house. So that's one thing. And then another thing that was mentioned was that she funneled money to her husband. My thing is, why could you not give your husband $5,000? That's first and foremost. And secondly, how could I put this? A lot of loan officers will tell you to get the loan from your grandmother, from your husband, from whoever. And yes, you do have to write a letter saying that I'm getting this money from whoever you are supposedly getting it from. But okay, if I'm getting it from my husband, that doesn't mean I can't give my husband money.
I think the reason that
hold on 1 second. No, let me clear this up. Okay. I cannot. It's a lie. So they look at your account. They look at money that's moving, right? So I can't lie and say, let me pretend $5,000, but I'm gonna give you the $5,000 so you can give it back to me. And then E's writing a letter saying she gifted me $5,000. No, that's a lie. This thing is very tricky. Mm-hmm. Because one thing they want to know for sure, and matter of fact, the money that you have for the down payment for your house, they want proof. I want to say it's 3 months of bank statements that
Right.
money has been sitting there, and the only way they will like not let that happen is if you can show that every 2 weeks when you get paid, you get X amount of dollars, and
Right.
that's why that money was sitting there, and that's why the number looks different, right?
Right.
No, it's very messy, and you cannot do that. That's why with Keefe D, come on now, Kerry. That's why with Keefe D, when he's trying to get this bond to get out the $90,000, whatever, the judge said they're going to do a whole forensic look at the money to see exactly where this money came from, who gave it, and that's why he's having trouble now, because the money just can't come off a street jobs.
Right, which I understand that, but what I am saying that also, not only as husband and wife do you have your own account, you guys have shared accounts. You understand? To say there has been plenty of time that people has bought houses as just a husband or just a wife, and to say, okay, I'm just a wife buying a house. Here's all my information. But then if you say, okay, well, I don't have the rest of it. Let's say the closing costs. So I'm gonna get the $5,000 from my husband. If I'm getting it from a shared account, not to say that she know all of this or knew to say all of this, but I'm just saying that I just feel like they being very harsh on her. I know for a fact in real estate, this is done so much. And 40 years is beyond excessive. So that's where it go to the point where I really truly believe in my heart of hearts, they just targeted her, and that's where she went to it because of all of the reasonings. Not saying that in some way, shape, form, or fashion she moved wrong, her and her husband. Not saying that she didn't, but then there's the part of now the system moving wrong. So two wrongs, as we know, don't make a right. And that's why I'm giving her grace. That's the only reason why. So yeah.
She got grace for me, but no, the system's not moving wrong. They getting her on every technicality that they can. And so she moved wrong by telling some lies that others have told, but she should have known better. You can't do what they do. And that's a point blank in the period. Katrina, you're up.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the time they're trying to give her, that's very excessive, especially when you have people getting COVID money from the government, millions of dollars from the government, and when they get caught, they get 5 years. What she did was totally stupid. I don't understand. You a lawyer, girl. Anytime, I tell y'all all the time, anytime that you moving 10,000 or anything like that, they gonna send up a red flag, regardless of what you're doing. If you putting 10,000 in, you taking 10,000 out, they're gonna red flag you. And when I got ready to get my home, what I did was I didn't file income tax 1 year, so I filed twice in 1 year, and so I got back 2 refunds. And so I had to show where that money came from that was in my account. I had to give them my income tax documents to let them know that money came from my income tax. So everything that you do when you buying a house, they want to know where this money came from. Like you said, even how long you been working, where you been working. They want to know, is this money clean? Because most times when they see black people trying to buy a house, they always think it's D money. So they want to make sure everything is clean before they even sell you the house. And you have to put, maybe she had to put down earnest money because we had to put down earnest money to hold the home. So that was like 2,000 or whatsoever. And I know the government give you a one-time, you can give your spouse a one-time gift up to 35,000 a year. You can get a one-time gift from your spouse. But the way that she did it, I wouldn't did 5,000 and say he gave me 5,000. I would at least slashed it down to 250 or something like that. You telling on yourself. Everything she did, she left a money trail. But the thing that I get upset about, what I'm not upset about whatsoever, but this was her money that she's taking out of her account to buy a home in Florida during the COVID time, which is at that point in time in Florida, the housing market was very cheap. But the thing is, she's getting in trouble for getting her own money, but you did it the wrong way. You could have did it another type of way.
Right.
No, I don't
Right.
think that she should get 40 years for getting her own money, but by her being a person of in the law office or being an attorney, she should get something to let them know, like, look, just because you're an attorney doesn't mean that you can get away with this. The same way our vice president should be getting some time for doing the stuff that he did. So it goes both ways. And that's all I got, Diva. I feel bad for her kids, being free for your kids for 40 years, girlfriend. And you in the feds, you doing day by day. But I hope she get less time, and Biden too busy eating ice cream, so she better send a partner or something, because he ain't looking at that. He eating ice cream. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Espar, thank you so much for the super chats. The officers that unalive Freddie got off, she is being targeted just because the prosecutor and judge may be Democratic. The fraternal officer of the police are influential on both sides. Yeah, they are, right? But again, I go back to, you can't get me on something I didn't do. It's like when we talk about these reality shows and the people like, oh, editing. If I call somebody a B on film, no matter how they edit it, I still call the person a B. So my thing is, she of all people, she's a lawyer. And my thing is, it wasn't even your residential home that you were staying in. I want to say this was a vacation home. And so you got hardship, but you buying a second home. Listen, the whole thing is messy in and of itself.
Diva.
Yes.
10 seconds. Because I keep hearing, the husband, you can give your husband a gift and he can give it back to you, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I think we're forgetting, she said in the paperwork that her and the reason she needed the home was because her and the husband were getting a divorce, meaning that they weren't on friendly terms to begin with. And also, remember, he has tax debt too. He's not good with money, and he's scheming too. He's ducking and dodging the government. So we got to keep that in mind. You're saying this person gave you a gift, and then when they get on the stand, they can't corroborate that. This is messy.
Oh, that was getting a divorce?
It's messy on all the way around, E. But even if we forget about the mess, she know what she did. And she knew it was messed up and wrong. And she might have, I can't be sure, because in the midst of all of that jungle, they are targeting her. But so I don't know if she would have admitted to it, if maybe it would have been better for her. But I know this, how does a lawyer not get herself a good lawyer? I didn't even know who a lawyer was, but I feel like the lawyer was trash.
Come on.
Dustin, you're up.
I think she deserves to lose her license.
Oh my God.
She don't deserve to practice anymore. I think that she deserves everything she's getting for this. I think that she deserves to be in prison, not the 40 years, but serve some time. If you do the crime, you do time, and I think we're going to find out later this month when she goes to trial. I think we'll find out a lot of information that we don't know, and I think that she deserves. I think she.
You're breaking up, Dustin. We can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now, Diva?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I think she deserves the time that she gets. So, I do believe everybody is proven guilty, but I think that she deserves the time she gets. And I'll say it one more time. She deserves to lose her license.
Good gosh almighty. In my opinion, you're up. Not lose the license. Yikes.
Amen.
In my opinion.
Okay. I'm on so many different levels than y'all is because I already know the game. Okay. So they're gonna make her suffer because she had the gumption to take these officers that took somebody else's life. She had the gumption to go up against this system that they had blocked up, that they could do anything to us, okay? And they go gonna make her suffer for anything. I believe they combed through all her documents trying to find anything that she done wrong. And for all y'all to sit up here act like y'all ain't never made a mistake or nothing. I don't know what happened with this lady and what happened in this story that she got into this mess, because she is a whole attorney and she should have known that she can't do what they do. But we got a whole ex-president that's going for presidency, and he can sit here and do all kind of crimes, okay? And when he can't make the money that he needs for his properties, they bring his stuff down. He could be locked up, but he could still be the president of the United States. Now you make that make sense. And y'all sitting up here talking about this lady deserves to go to jail and she deserves to lose her license. No, she deserves a medal of honor because these people are railroading her.
I appreciate you in my opinion. And yes, I started this off with like, we can't do like they do. It's messed up, but you better walk the straight and narrow line. And like he said, your hands better be clean. Because if they not, unfortunately, that's what they're going to do.
But that's what I'm saying. We always make mistakes. That's why Britney Griner was in the situation she did, because she made a mistake. I'm not saying that she didn't do what she did, but I'm just thinking, I don't think it was intentional. I don't think this was something. I don't think a whole attorney would jeopardize her whole career.
This was very intentional. This was very intentional.
You don't know that it's intentional, Sebastian.
It was.
They did.
Why are you sending your husband money and then having him wire it back to you? It was very intentional.
You don't know why but that's what I'm saying. It seems intentional. We don't know the backstory of what is happening in her life. We don't know what is going through. I'm just saying this lady is a whole mother. She's a whole attorney. I don't think
how many mothers have been locked up.
Let breadcrumbs to lead her to the conviction that she didn't think of.
You cannot lie under oath and get away with it. Bill Clinton lost his bar license because of that. She will most likely lose
Trump
hers.
lied how many times though?
Trump's not an attorney.
It don't get his attorney lied a whole bunch of times. And what about that?
Well,
you know what? Let me again. If I was to do a comparison, my comparison would have to be Marilyn Mosby and me. If I was a lawyer in said situation, and then they said, "Well, Diva got away with it," but again, we're comparing it to Trump. I think it is definitely apples and oranges, because I already said we will never, ever, ever get away with the same things that others do. And if the message is, if whoever didn't get that memo, you better send it to them. You better send it to your cousins, your brothers, your uncles, your whomever. You better send it to them, because it's just not going to happen. And so, do I think it's a mixture of her being targeted? Absolutely, it's very clear, right? It's very clear, but at the same time, it's also clear that what she was doing, she did. Now, out of all the people in the world that should know better, is a whole lawyer that studied all of them years, and that she should know the law and know that this ain't even, the math is not mathing. You when you want to say you poverty stricken and you making $250,000 a year, I don't know. To me, that don't even make no darn sense.
But Maryland is expensive.
Listen, everybody, I don't care where you live, it's expensive. Jersey is expensive. I told y'all, on my little townhouse, darn near $7,000 in taxes. It doesn't make any sense.
You better speak on it, Diva.
New Jersey is expensive.
New York
is expensive. I mean, we
just trying to get a lady some grace.
We can all talk about expenses, but we do know for sure is that everybody is not making $250,000.
He should have moved to Ohio.
You're in the top 12%.
Maybe she didn't have no cases because it was COVID.
Huh?
Maybe she didn't have no cases because it was COVID.
She was working for. Come on now.
I'm just trying to make it light. I'm trying to make it light. I'm trying to make it light.
But
Diva. Yes.
Well, I want to be clear, because I think all of us have said that we believe that she was targeted. We believe that. And I think the way that she could have spun this, because None of us want to see a Black woman in jail. But the way that she could have spun the narrative is when she went down to the police station, because it was said that we don't know the backstory. We don't know the backstory because she didn't tell the backstory. That's what she should have been telling us at the news station. She should have said, I did something. I know I was wrong. I did the wrong thing. The people of Baltimore deserve better. And all I can ask is that you all will extend grace and keep in mind all of the things that I have done for my community and remember my record. You have to come to us and tell it all. Like you and Felicia told me, Diva, you got to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Come on now. Come on, E. I love you for that. Come on now.
Because we will be forgiving.
Hold on one second. Let me throw this in because people, when they talk too much, they tell on herself. Didn't she talk about her daughter's cotillion, whatever the daughter had?
Yes.
Right. You so broken poor. And in the midst of all of this, you can sit there and tell us the privileged story of the nice cotillion, whatever your daughter had. And at that thing, she surprised you because she's going to be a lawyer. Listen, when you listen, you listen. And she said out of her own mouth a whole lot of stuff. It's messy. And I'm going with you, E. Finish what you got to say.
Love you, E.
Well, I'm just saying, because Bill Clinton, even though he lied, he still had to come back and admit. She hasn't admitted to us any wrongdoing. In that video, what she said is, I haven't done anything wrong. But Leo just told us in order to request a pardon, you have to admit guilt. She's double talking. I don't want her to get prison time. But in order to avoid that, you have to come clean. Come to the people who you say deserve better clean.
Come on now, wash your hands.
But then she said that the people told her that she could just take her money out of there if it was
But she
over
knows better
$50 or
because
something like that.
she's a lawyer. She knows better. And even if she didn't know before, she knows now because she was convicted. And as an officer of the court, what you have to do is, even if you disagree with the decision, you have to respect the judge's ruling as an officer of the court.
Well, she should have took the stand for herself. Why she didn't take the stand?
Because she didn't want to perjure herself even further.
Come on now. Let's say connected dots. Come on, E.
Speak on it, E.
Come on, E. Speak tonight. Speak. And listen, I don't want to see this girl go to jail. I don't want to see her lose her license. I don't like this 40 years. It makes no sense to me when there's people that have done worse. And in 40 years, it's excessive.
Well, Diva, you do know federal sentences are very high. This is a federal case.
But yeah, no,
Jen Shaw is facing up to these amounts.
No, Sebastian, it is, and you are correct. But again, let's roll the footage back and say this girl knew this better than any of us would.
She got to take a plea deal. That's what she got to do, and she didn't do that.
So here's my thing.
Still, there's been millionaires out there taking that COVID money, and they ain't get 40 years.
They took pleas. A lot of them took
they
pleas.
didn't get 40 years.
No, you have to take a plea before you are convicted. Right. And the PPP, because I keep seeing that in the chat, the government is still going after the PPP. If you go to your city's website, they're still arresting people to this day for PPP. So don't think it's over. They're still going to get you.
No, I didn't say they wasn't arresting
people. No, I'm not talking about you.
I'm talking about the chat. Okay. Because I'm just saying, because these people took millions and they didn't get 40 years. Some of them got 5 years and got to pay the money back. So they didn't get 40 years.
But see, okay, let's roll back the footage, right? It's a lot going on. Her case is loaded. And I'm going to say this. I think we're all in agreement that this sentence is excessive.
Yes.
Right? But the unfortunate part is there's a lot of technicalities with the law. And this is for what she got found guilty of. This is the amount of years she could face. Just like, unfortunately, the shoplifter, the story I showed the other day in Florida, she was a career shoplifter. Do I think 30 years is excessive? Heck yeah, I do. But you know what? For shoplifting, she's sitting in the jail for 30 years. Let's move forward with the next story.
Can I ask you a quick question?
No, I got to move to the next story, Dustin. Okay, so let me move forward to the next story. And the next story is this Britney Griner. This is another situation where ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you. She is extremely fortunate that the government helped her get out. She was facing 9 years behind bars because she didn't remember that she had some contraband in her luggage, and that contraband was illegal in Russia. So I'm gonna just run through this story real quick. Her interview is with Robin Roberts. I will say this, that my heart broke for Britney Griner also, right? In the sense that I'm trying to see which one I want to bring up that's better for me. Okay, I'm gonna share this one. I'm not gonna play this. Do I want to play this? I'll play some of it. I don't want to play the whole 7 minutes. Do I want to play or read it? Because we're our time is like limited here. I'll play a little bit of it and then I'll read some of it.
Since she was released from that prisoner swap in Russia.
And George, it all started February of 2022. She was on her way back to Russia to finish what was going to be her last basketball season there in Russia. And she talks about the mistake she made that changed her life. Britney has been home for more than a year, but she's finally ready to tell her story, an experience that she says often made her feel less than human. This morning, WNBA star Britney Griner detailing her arrest and nearly 10-month detainment in Russia in her new book, Coming Home, telling us exclusively about that fateful day. You said the whole day felt strange. How?
I was late getting up, never late getting up. Finally got up, literally running around the house. I'm stressing. Like, I go into straight panic mode.
Britney says her wife, Sherelle, usually packed for her, but this time she did it herself.
My packing at that moment was just throwing all my stuff in there and zipping it up and saying, okay, I'm ready.
At the Moscow airport, this is Russian Customs Service footage of Britney Griner putting her carry-on bags through the scanner, unaware that life as she knows it is about to end, as the agent tells her to search her backpack. So you reached down because you've been told to go through your bag.
Yep.
And you felt
the cartridge.
The agent stared as I slowly lifted out a cartridge with cannabis oil. In Arizona, cannabis is legal. In Russia, it's forbidden. I knew that, honest to God. I just totally forgot the pen was in my bag.
In the midst of them going through, my bags, there's 2 cartridges. And I'm just like, oh my God, how did I make this mistake? How was I this absent-minded, and made this huge mistake? Like, I could just visualize everything I worked so hard for just crumbling and going away.
Russian authorities determined that between the 2 cartridges is actually 0.7 grams of cannabis oil containing THC, the psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. Do you know there are those who say, come on, how did you not know that you had cartridges in your luggage? What do you say to the skeptics?
I would say, have you ever forgot your keys in your car, left your car running? Have you ever, where's my glasses? They're on top of your head. Where's my phone? Oh, it's in my pocket. It's just so easy to have a mental lapse, Granted, my mental lapse was on a more grand scale, but it doesn't take away from how that can happen.
The agents take her passport, boarding pass, ask her to sign a form written in Russian that she says she can't read, and she is left to wait. You said that you felt that you let down yourself, your family, your teams.
Yeah.
So how did you work through that, what you called this guilt that you were feeling?
I don't think I really gotten through all the way. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I let everybody down.
Britney is transferred to Correctional Colony Number 1, or IK1 as it's known. She is now a prisoner. What were the conditions like in that particular jail?
The mattress had a huge blood stain on it. and they give you these thin 2 sheets. So you're basically laying on bars. From middle of my shin to my feet, stuck through the bars, which in prison, you don't really want to stick your leg and arm through bars, you know, because someone go up and grab it, break it, twist it, and that's what was going through my mind.
You were only allowed one roll of toilet paper that had to last you a month.
There was like 2-3 months where we didn't get anything.
And the toothpaste had expired, what, 15 years?
It was like 15 years ago. That toothpaste was expired. We used to put it on the black mold to kill the mold on the walls.
For Brittney, her one silver lining, her cellmate, Alana.
Everyone knew the American, that was my title, or the basketball player, that was also my title. So Alana literally would translate everything. I wouldn't have made it without Alana.
134 days into her detainment, Britney Griner goes on trial in Khimki, Russia.
I had no intent to break any Russian laws. I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling, that it doesn't end my life here.
This is the moment she learned her sentence.
9
years in a Russian labor camp. And where you're heading to, it's called IK2.
IK2.
Known as one of the worst prisons in Russia.
Yeah.
What were the conditions like there?
Really cold. It's a work camp. You go there to work. There's no rest.
Yes.
Here is video released by Russian authorities of Brittney at her prison job, cutting fabric for military uniforms.
So I'm picking up these big beams of fleece and cotton and silk. You put it on this machine and you roll it out 100 times, clamp it, cut it.
The frigid temperatures affecting her health and also her hair. People knew you for so long with the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
You decided to cut them. What was that like, losing that part of you too?
Honestly, it just had to happen. We had spiders above my bed, making nests. My dreads started to freeze. They would just stay wet and cold, and I was getting sick. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
Brittney says so much of her experience was dehumanizing, including the way the prison guards treated her. She gets into much, much more of that on our special tonight and in her book, Coming Home, which is out on Tuesday.
You mentioned her roommate, who was also her translator. Did Brittney speak any Russian?
9. That's 9. She learned how to count from 1 to 10 because that was going to be her prison sentence.
Oh, wow.
And she wanted to be able to understand right away. So when she heard that, she knew that it was 9. But Alana, oh my goodness, the way she talks about her and a couple of others who understood English and really helped her navigate what was going on. And you're going to hear so much more on the special tonight about that experience, the entire 10-month ordeal. The full primetime interview with Britney Griner runs on a special edition of 2020 tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then later you can catch it on Hulu.
So I want to say a couple things, because a couple things I want us to be above here, right? You know, everybody is their own unique person, and let's let everybody be their own unique person. Many people are asking about her voice. This is not about her voice. This is not about who she is. This is bigger than that. This is a young lady who, you know, because they made something legal in several states or several places, had some contraband that was not legal where she went. And she was 9 years in, and she got a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And the best thing I could say to all of us is leave yesterday where it's at. None of us are perfect. We make mistakes. And we're fortunate when you make a mistake that you can get over a little easier. And it's sad when you make a mistake, like, you know, this district DA, like Britney Griner, that can have you hemmed up and locked up. And I often say this, I think it's so unfair that people that are in jail are treated like they're not human. Toothpaste that's 15 years old. You're sleeping on a metal bed where the mattress is so thin it was blood stains on the mattress. The list goes on and on and on. And, you know, in addition to that, she got a lot of backlash because there was another prisoner over there that, you know, been waiting to get brought back to. And it was like, okay, it's me and not them. It's just too much. And I'm praying for her. This is a cautionary tale to make sure, like, you know where you're going and what's legal and not legal. It's just so much. Leo, you're up.
Wow, Diva, did we not for the first time see her emotions, right?
Right.
Even when she was in that little teeny cell, all we saw was just her eyes. Like, she showed no emotion. She didn't cry when she was getting sentenced. You know, we rise to the occasion for what we deal with, even when we don't know that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she made a deadly mistake. Like, this could have cost her her life.
Woo.
This could have cost her her life. This mistake she made could have cost her her life. And to see her sit down with Robin Roberts and to revisit that emotion, I'm quite sure she did not want to do that for a long time. But she trusted Robin enough not to exploit her.
Right.
To be able to get to the nitty gritty. And I'm looking forward to listening to this.
Me too.
And processing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am the type of person, as well as you, Diva, in my good, you know, age, long in the tooth, I don't really have those type of substances on me. So it's not a thing that it will get packed in my luggage. It's not my thing.
Right.
But I'm not here to say that these mistakes can't happen when you live in a state where it's legal.
Right.
She said she dumped her things in and she just kept it moving because her wife would usually pack her bags.
Right. Ooh.
And to feel that to hear that she feels the guilt of letting down all these people, letting down the team that she is affiliated with, letting down Americans altogether, letting down her wife and her family.
Yeah.
And to have to live with that guilt, I'm quite sure she is really dealing with emotional stress that she never could foresee coming.
Oh.
And I pray for her. You know, I pray for healing for her family.
Mm-hmm.
And look, girl, everybody make mistakes and people make the worst mistakes and have to carry the burden of those mistakes. But at some point in time, if you see that mistake and you try and do better, live in that. Don't live in the past.
Right.
Live in moving forward.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that.
Live in moving forward. And I appreciate her having the courage to tell her story. I hope that she won't get judged harshly.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that she is accepted for the strength that she is exhibiting to tell her story publicly and what her and her family are going through. And God bless her and God bless her family. And I wish them all healing energy for this horrific thing she has gone through.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and yes, Nika, thank you so much for this. Yeah, remember her family didn't know anything like her whereabouts for a whole month. It was so sad. That was a very sad time period. Every time I would see the news with her and just see when they would bring her into court, like how sad, the sadness, you could feel it, you could see it. And thank God, listen, praise God for that one prisoner that spoke English and was trying to keep her in the loop. E, you're up.
You know, Brittany is one handsome woman, and I mean that in the best way.
Yeah.
I do personally find her voice height and ability to articulate her thoughts especially attractive. I had this conversation.
I do too, E, and I don't even swing that way.
Right.
Yes, right. And I mentioned this to Emmanuel the other day. I'm not taking away towards the other end of the spectrum. As some people know, I really do find her attractive. I'm sorry, I just do. So I may be biased in this situation because she's kind of fine. But what I will say, Brittany, unlike the woman in the previous story, Britney admitted to being aware of the laws in Russia for
Yeah.
growing cannabis, in contrast to Arizona or whatever state she was in. But she chalked that up to bad memory. I can understand that. I can empathize with that. I can relate. And I agree. It has happened to me. When Brittany said, how many times have you been looking for your glasses and they were right there on your head? That's happened to me. That's happened to me. I have spent at least half an hour looking for my car keys one day before work one morning. And, they were right there on the dining room table and I just overlooked them. I have even lost my car one time. I went to the garage and it wasn't there. And I didn't realize until an hour later, I parked it in front of the building.
Come on now.
Sometimes when life is lifing and you have so much stress and balancing responsibilities and you have to be here, there, and everywhere, and your emotions are up, there are a lot of things that we can forget, especially when you smoke. Memory. Well, no, it's
true. It's true. Come on.
Memory impairment is a side effect from cannabis use. It's been scientifically proven. I don't smoke. I've said it a few times, and I just told you all of the things I've lost and all the time I spent looking for them, and they were right there. Imagine that from somebody who doesn't smoke, and I'm just busy and crazy. Now, how much more of a train wreck would I be if I were indulging in the use of cannabis? Do you understand? I don't care if it is legal or not. At a certain point, you have to be responsible. I liken it to alcohol. Alcohol is legal too. But if you have to be up for at 5 a.m. for an 8 a.m. flight, why would you drink hard liquor the night before? Same thing. Well, I don't care if it's legal or not. There are consequences to these things. But all in all, I do feel for this woman, and I can acknowledge we all make mistakes. And one mistake should not impact you for the rest of your life, but it can. It does. And yes, it is unfair. I don't like it. You don't like it. We don't like it. But hopefully someone can take a lesson from this story. What I typically say to the children I have worked with, especially my athletes have to be disciplined. You have to master self-discipline, not indulging in the rah-rah, and keeping a clear mind because your body is your work. Okay. And so the fact that you would even be smoking as an athlete, I just want to leave you with this one quote. Good practice makes good habits. We have to be mindful about what we put in our bodies and how that can be harmful to us, even if it feels good. Good practice makes good habits.
I like that, E. I appreciate you. And you know what's so unfortunate with this world is that everything is about money, and so they legalize that about money. It's a mess with what gets promoted and had the people confused, like thinking it's okay. But I caught your mention. I appreciate it, and you are correct. Even as an athlete, why are you doing this? But see, they try to mess with the mind and act like it's not a big deal, and that's why they made it legal. But Sebastian, you're up.
Number one, I'm going to say this. I have mercy for her. I will say this before I say everything else that I'm going to say. I
And
have
keep
mercy
it kind
for
of short, Dustin, because I'm going to roll everybody a little short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you from the law.
She pleaded guilty, though.
She knows that, and I'm pretty good that she acknowledged her guilt. She took her guilt well. She acknowledged what she did was wrong, unlike the previous person in the previous story. She knows what she did was wrong. She has acknowledged it and everything. I get that some people say she was medically prescribed this for pain, but as I said, ignorance of law doesn't excuse you from the law. She should not even in a domestic flight, you cannot fly with marijuana. So I don't even know how the hell did she leave the country? Because like TSA, where were they? TSA in the US, where were they? Because this is something they should have seen themselves. She shouldn't have to go to Russia and they found it out. TSA here should have seen this.
But if it's legal, right? If it's legal.
No, TSA is a federal authority. There's no such thing as marijuana is not legal federally.
Oh, okay.
It's sad that this happened.
He had said something though about having a prescription though too.
Yeah, but it's still not legal federally. Because like if you get medical marijuana, you also sign away the right to bear firearms as well, because of marijuana not being legally on the federal level.
All right, I don't know enough, so I'm going with you.
that's my thing. So I blame TSA as well for her case because TSA should have definitely stopped her. And she could have faced charges in the US too. It's the reality. It's sad, but it's the truth. I will say this though. Do I believe she should have been brought in back? Yes. But do I believe the guy who was there for more years and stuff, who's an actual political prisoner and everything, should be brought back before her? Yes, because he's been there for like a good 12 years, I think, right now.
Woo.
And yeah, I think so. And he's a member of the military, the US military. So this is the thing. He should have been brought back. It's sad that her conditions were like this, and her prison conditions were like this. But God bless Alana, who she said, the Russian girl who helped her and everything. That is a very good thing. I have always said this. Russian people are very nice people. I grew up in Queens. There's a small Russian community. Um, so I do think she will be able to get over this one day, but it's gonna be hard. This is gonna be a very rocky
Thank
journey
you,
that she's
Sebastian.
going through.
All right. Tay, you're up.
I'm just glad the guard and the girl just let her know what's going on. And what for those two, she wouldn't be here. I think for them to let her know what's going on, and I hope she have therapy and
Hold
support
on one
for her.
second. Hold on one second. Wayne, please watch what you put in the chat. The words you're using. Go ahead. Tay, I'm sorry.
Oh, you good, Diva.
Mm-hmm.
All I say is I hope she get her therapy, a long therapy after what she gone through that right there, because that's gonna be a long time to get over that stuff. But you have to take it one day at a time for that right there.
Thank you so
That's
much.
all, Diva.
Thank you. Julius, you're up. 60 seconds, please.
I'm glad she came back home. Now, I don't know if this is correct information, but I remember hearing about the gentleman that he abandoned his post or something like that.
I don't want to go through him, Julius. Anything about Brittney?
I'm glad she had help with translation. And she can make a comeback. She probably won't go overseas, but there's always room for a comeback. And I'm glad that she did admit guilt. When you admit guilt, it could be to your benefit, unlike the other lady.
I appreciate you, Julius. Thank you so much. Dr. Love, 60 seconds.
Hey, I just wanted her to know to give herself grace
Yes.
through this. That's just all I want to add. I feel like somebody else have not added.
Thank you so much. Katrina?
Yeah, I'm glad she got from over there too. Everybody just need to be mindful of what they have in their luggage because, like I told you, Dee, about the two guys that Costa Rica with the ammunition, and they almost getting 12 years. So she just need to be. Everybody just need to be careful about what you pack in. Pay attention to what you put in your luggage because when you go to these not different countries and whatsoever, and they have different rules. They can hold you over there. In the United States, you have to get involved in to bring that person home. So just be mindful of what you have in your luggage, and I just hope that she gets comfort, and I hope she gets stress relief, and I hope that she can find a place that she can feel like, okay, I did the wrong thing, but I'm good. I'm done.
Thank you. Dustin, 60 seconds.
I'm so glad that she's home and safe and sound. But you never know what other people are going through in their life, and it's sad to see her go through this. But I'm so glad she's home and safe and sound, Diva.
I do too. Thank you so much, Dustin. In my opinion, you're up.
Diva, let me tell you something. This is loaded too because I remember when the story happened, and when Russia found out how important she was, they used her as a baiting tactic to get their arms dealers back. And as much as they was trying to get both of them in the deal for releasing him, Russia was not having it. They was using it and leveraging it. And as soon as they gave her 9 years, it was like, okay, we got to get her out of there. So I really feel like Russia played us. and we shouldn't have anything to do with them for that.
Yeah. It's a mess. We did get played. It was a mess. And I want her, I pray to God that she releases her guilt, because this is not on her back. It should not be on her back. We're gonna roll through this really quick. I just want to show this. Britney Spears, she needs help. And a lot of times, once something bad happens to somebody, everybody's like, well, where were the people before that? Why this? Why that? So forth and so on. This is Britney Spears' own post. Okay, she had an incident with the boyfriend. The cops came. It was a whole hot mess. But this is what she posted. This is her words. This ain't Diva talking. This is her words. Just to let people know, the news is fake. I would like respect at this time for the people to understand I'm getting stronger every day. Truth sucks. So can someone teach me how to lie? Laughing emoji. Right? Question marks. Goddesses out there, I'm reaching my higher power. And furthermore, I hope you guys are too. I need a new toothbrush right now. P.S. I need an espresso. Not sure why I feel the need to share this. I guess I'm just a girl and I'm on my period. So I'm a little B. And then she goes, S. I'm also twisting my ankle last night, and paramedics showed up at my door illegally. They never came in my room, but I felt completely harassed. I'm moving to Boston. Peace. Ever since this conservatorship she was released from it, whole hot mess. So the whole thing is Britney Spears addresses hotel incident with her boyfriend, and she's now saying she's leaving California. She can go to California, New Jersey, wherever. It's still going to be these same problems. She needs help before something so terrible happens, right? She just addressed her hotel incident that required paramedics to rush to the scene. And she's out here claiming fake news while also vowing to head to Beantown. The pop star hopped on IG Thursday with a telling caption which seems to touch on exactly what happened Wednesday night. Namely, first responders arriving at Chateau where she was staying with the boyfriend, who's an ex-con. They got into a big fight that spun out of control. This is her. She never has any clothes on. It's totally insane. It's crazy. Brittney goes on to say this, the truth sucks, but I already read all of that. Okay, she adds that they never came to her room. She's being harassed. That's the boyfriend, messy. Of course, based on our reporting, we know this isn't how things went down. As we was told, someone called the cops to report a woman matching Britney's description, causing a ruckus at the hotel, allegedly bothering employees and guests. After cops showed up and didn't see anything was amiss, we're told Brittney and Paul hit their room, kept partying, and eventually got into a scuffle, which ended up with her getting injured. Paramedics were eventually called, but Brittney wasn't stretched out and says she walked out of the building on her own 2 feet, but was looking rough. We're told she didn't leave with Paul, nor did she take an ambulance ride. She left with security. Listen, and all of this is just out of control, scary. She's a hot mess. She needs it appears like she needs medication and she needs help. We're going to go around real quick, 60 seconds. What about Brittney, Leo?
I'm going to shake the train and I'm going to do it in 60 seconds. The girl is a hot mess. But the guardianship that she had, and I heard what you said, Diva, at least with the guardianship that she had, the conservatorship, that's what it is in California, her father took care of her and she made $60 million. Okay, I get that. But just because the father was over the conservatorship does not mean that it was a good thing for her interest, only for the money, which the other people are spending the money. So who we gonna have spend the money? The person that made the money, or the people on the conservatorship or the guardianship spend the money? Who is, if we keep her medicated and in line and doing what society think is socially acceptable, is she messed up? Yes, she is. But who we gonna have spend the money here? The person that earned the money, or the people who are the conservatorship or the guardianship spend the money? Where we at? I don't understand.
Ooh, all right. Thank you, Leo E. 60 seconds.
Before Brittany wrote that post, I think she must have found that cannabis oil that Britney Griner left at the Russian airport. Okay, choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Thank you, E. Sebastian, 60 seconds.
60 seconds. Okay. The truth is, this is what happens when someone is violated, given medications, given so many things, taken away. They gave her so many things, messed up this woman's brain, and now she truly has a problem. She truly has a problem, and the truth is, she needs to be in a conservatorship again. She can't be free out in these streets anymore. No. Especially when she out here, when she was married to Sam, playing with knives around his face and body. No. Nope. Put her in a conservatorship. Put her in a home. Put her in a home. Yes.
Sebastian, thank
You're gonna get the fans in the comments and the emails. Put her in a home. Lock her up. Nope.
Thank you, Sebastian. Tay, you're up.
I would say she needs somebody who really care about her, not for her money, not for the fame, the fortune. It's about her health, her all that right there, diva. Somebody who really care about her. Lord have mercy. All I say, Brittney. I'll shake my head at this right here. Baby, hit me one more time. I see you, Eve. That's all, people.
Thank you so much. Julia, 60 seconds.
Before you share that statement, I happen to read it. I'm gonna have to recant my previous statement. She needs rehab, but a decent rehab facility this time. And she needs to have, I think her lawyer needs to hire an investment company to watch over her money. And also minimally a conservatorship just to watch over her person. I don't think her dad needs to be involved. I still stand on that. But at minimal for the health and stuff, yeah, the conservatorship needs to come back.
Thank you. Dr. Love, 60 seconds.
I know she needs help. I'm not sure who, but I know for sure not her family. Because I feel like they all on drugs.
Thank you, Dr. Love. Katrina, you're up.
Diva, how old is Britney's boys?
They about to be, one already turned 18, 19 or something like that, because I know
the other one is turning 18 this year.
Yeah, because he's about to
the
lose.
The oldest is 20.
Yeah, he was about to lose the child support, the dad.
No, I was just trying to see, could her kids help? Because Brittany been out of it ever since she cut her hair off, in the reporter's car with an umbrella, swirling around them little bitty shouts. It's just sad to see these people with all the assets with the money and they're not getting help and then just throwing it away. Even though she made the money, she worked hard for her money. But just throwing it away, you work this hard to sit around and twirl and just throw your money away. You $1 million vacations? Girl, you sure you paying $1 million of that man just telling you that? Anyway, somebody need to help her because that twirling and all that other stuff that she be doing, somebody need to help her because she ain't spending no $1 million on a vacation. That man taking that money. And he a ex-con too? Child, that man taking that money. Brittany need help, and I wish she would just put it in for her kids if she's going to throw it away like that. Just put it up in a trust fund or whatsoever for your children, girl, because that's ridiculous. I'm done.
Thank you. Dustin?
I think that she needs to go back in a conservatorship. She doesn't. She's gonna have all her money spent within a year's time. The way she's going, and I think she needs to go back in a conservatorship I think it would be the best for her. Yeah, that's what I was going to say for that diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. In my opinion, you're up. In my opinion, are you there? Okay, I don't know what happened. In my opinion, you there? In my opinion. Okay, Wayne, are you there? All right, yeah, I'm rolling right into the feel good story. I don't know what's going on with everybody, but I think this is a good one, and I want to just show it. Hold on one second.
Of hard work. What you don't hear much about is the real value of doing nothing. With Susan Spencer, let's all take it easy.
For most of her working life, Celeste Headley never made any time for any time off.
I used to say I can outwork anybody. That used to be like my calling card.
A single mother, at one point she was balancing childcare with 7 different jobs.
I am a professional opera singer, so I sang for the Michigan Opera Theater. I also did a lot of writing jobs. I wrote for the Detroit News. I was filing freelance pieces for National Public Radio.
But in 2017, at age 47, she hit a wall.
I was irritable all the time. I was tired all the time. I mean, I started getting sick, and I'm a very healthy person. I don't generally get sick. So obviously I was overworked. And that was a problem that had to be solved.
First step, she quit her full-time job. Second, equally drastic move, she took a 2-week cross-country train ride, much of it without Wi-Fi, just to see what would happen.
For the first 3 or 4 days, it was panic. You know, when you leave your house and you realize you don't have your cell phone on you and you're like, but eventually it just started to feel okay.
By the time she got home, she'd had an epiphany.
Idleness, leisure time, is necessary for our own health and well-being.
The title of Headley's recent book says it all, but she argues social pressures make doing nothing hard to do. After all, we might be accused of the dreaded sin of laziness.
If somebody's lazy, right, they're not earning their place in society. They're a bum.
So you think laziness has become a bad word?
Yeah, absolutely.
How did laziness get such a bum rap?
Laziness gets a bum rap from religion. It gets a bum rap from capitalism. It gets a bum rap because we are trying to be productive in our lives.
And productivity is the real priority in America, says Professor Lonnie Golden, who teaches economics at Penn State Abington.
The big payoffs in the US are making yourself available for a promotion or building your own business from scratch. So there's many good rewards from that.
But there's no reward for being lazy.
There's no reward for being lazy, I think it's fair to say. When you're at your high school reunion, you don't want to be saying, I've been doing nothing.
According to a recent survey, Americans value hard work over just about everything else, including self-fulfillment, marriage, patriotism, religion, and tolerance for others. Even retirees have a hard time doing nothing.
It gets to be what's called the conspicuous busyness, like, hey, look how busy I am and look how much time I'm spending. Maybe it's volunteering, but it should be okay to say I'm retired. And as a result, I can be lazy when I feel like being lazy.
But it's not.
Because we're in this cult.
This anti-lazy cult.
Yeah, we have all been basically brainwashed to believe that we have to work hard or we're not of value.
Which may explain why employers seem to love employees who say they can multitask. Really, what could be less lazy?
We hear this all the time. Businesses ask candidates, are you good at multitasking? and they want to hear yes. But what they should want to hear is no. People are motivated. People want to get ahead. It's understandable.
Professor Earl K. Miller, a neuroscientist at MIT's Picower Institute for Learning and Memory, has sobering news for a culture obsessed with juggling jobs.
Our brains are very one track. We can hold only one or two thoughts in mind at a time. That is it. We're very single-minded.
You mean it is physically impossible to multitask?
I mean, it is physically impossible to multitask.
Our poor brains, when struggling to multitask, instead simply slow down and make mistakes. A far better plan, says Professor Miller, is to try doing no tasks at all.
You know, a lot of times some of your best thoughts come to you when your conscious mind is out of the way, when you allow these unconscious thoughts to bubble up, right? And sometimes it's good to be lazy, not lazy, but to tune out a bit and let these thoughts bubble up.
That advice is a way of life at the 93-year-old Institute for Advanced Study, an academic research center in Princeton, New Jersey, where remarkably, doing nothing does not have a bad name, says director David Nuremberg.
What's a typical day like?
There isn't a typical day. You can do whatever you want. The day is yours.
When not gathering for tea each day, scholars may take a walk in the woods, sit by the pond, or even nap.
We all need space for non-intentional activity, non-intentional thought, contemplation. That's why weekends exist. I think that's why so many of our faith traditions have introduced days of rest.
But we think of that as being lazy.
I think it's a crucial part of being human.
Not to imply that anyone's slacking off. The Institute has been an intellectual home to Albert Einstein, J. Robert Oppenheimer, and 35 Nobel laureates.
Some of the most productive and renowned people in history worked maybe 4 hours a day. Charles Dickens, Charles Darwin, Henri Poincaré. I mean, these are people who had a focused time of 4 hours, and the rest of the time, what were they doing? They were dining, they were sitting in the garden, they were hanging out with friends.
They were being lazy.
Yeah, to our 21st century eyes, yeah, they were being lazy. To them, they were living their life. My friends definitely see me more.
And Celeste Headley wants all of us to start living our lives too.
Yeah, of course you take vacation.
So if you had one message about laziness, what would it be?
The most successful animals on the planet are the laziest. Think about how long lions lie around on the savannah. And when they need food, there's a burst of energy and activity, and they get it, and then they go back to lying around. If you look at the apex predators, some of the most successful species on planet Earth, they spend a good amount of their time doing nothing at all.
Along with the question.
Get lazy, y'all. Take your time, do your vacation time, go on your trip, hang out with family and friends. I thought that was a great piece because, yeah, all these jobs now, can you multitask? Can you this? It's like they're working you to the bone. And then you are snapping on people. You're stressed out and all kinds of other stuff. So listen, guys, yes, take some mental health days. Yes, 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 yes. Relax, chill, hang out.
Get a massage.
What you said?
Stay in bed till noon.
Get a massage.
Get a massage. Come on now. Stay in bed till noon. Come on, Wayne. Okay? Listen, guys, I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I know the train pulled out late, but y'all hung out there with me, so I appreciate y'all. Listen, everybody, if you didn't hit that like button coming in, hit it going out. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Good night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Do not cheat the diva or